What's up, people? Oh, the sun. Oh, I'm not used to it. My penis. I needed some inspiration today, so I jumped on Twitter and I said, what's today's vlog topic? And Randy jumped in and said, how about your first time on a motorcycle? And I thought, yeah, that'll do. I mean, I'll tweak it a little bit. A little brief history about motorcycles for me and that kind of thing. Why not? Like, what kick-started the fire under my ass to get me into motorcycles? So, rewind a little, and I'm about 8 years old, something like that, I guess. 9, 10, I don't know. A little prick. We had a family friend called Sue, and her boyfriend, Ted, was a big motorcyclist with long curly hair and a ponytail and wore like leather vests and stuff. You get the type. Amazing guy. And he had, I think it was called a Shadow. Was it a Yamaha Shadow or something? Cruisery style thing. Loud as shit, straight through stainless pipes. And I can't remember how it came about, but somehow I ended up faced with the opportunity to ride on the back of this bike with Ted. And now Ted was a legend. He was a super cool guy. Didn't fit the image at all. You know, he looked like the kind of guy that would grab your pint of beer off the bar and punch you in the face. But he was amazing. Lovely guy. Very fond of him. He agreed to take me out on this bike, and we did it a couple of times in the summer when the weather was good. He took me around the island, bought me ice cream and stuff like that, just shared stories about what bikes meant to him and all this kind of good stuff. Really kind of fueling the fire. You know, this guy was throwing logs on left, right and centre. I'm just sat on the back of this bike fucking clinging to this guy for dear life, deaf as shit because it was the loudest thing you've ever heard. Everyone turning around and staring. I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. And now, fast forward a little further, I'm probably 13 or so, and I come into an inheritance, and I knew straight away that I wanted to buy a motorcycle, and my parents were actually fine with it. Surprisingly, I thought they would be against it. They're too dangerous, you'll kill yourself, you're a twat, something. We found this absolutely beautiful condition red Honda CR80 Scrambler, and I fell in love with the thing. So we picked it up, and a friend of mine at the time, well, my best friend at school actually, a guy called Will, lived on a dairy farm, which to me was just like crack. As much fresh milk as you wanted, just go and get a mug, dip it in, and away you go, all the cream on top. Oh, it's glorious. Anyway, his parents very kindly agreed to let me keep my bike on the farm. Perfect place for it, loads of room to ride around, no big deal. So I dick around with that for a couple of years, and then comes along sixth form at school. Can't remember what age you are when you do that, 16 or something maybe. Will and I kind of grow apart because I switched schools, and the bike is just left there unused for a while. Several months down the line, one of Will's friend's dad shows up at our door saying he wants to buy the bike. I agree. I'm like, yeah, sure, you might as well. I mean, at least someone's going to use it. It was too small for me by then anyway, so away she goes. Sold. Is that an Evo 3? Ooh, beautiful. Don't see them often. Fast forward a hell of a long time. I'm, I don't know, 22, 23 maybe. Up until that point, I've been riding trials for about 5 years or so. And a friend of mine, Dave, convinced me to give moto trials a go. He was like, dude, you're good on a push bike. It's not that different. I thought, you know, why the hell not? Why the hell not? I can't remember how. I had some money laying around, so I went and bought a Gas 280. I signed up to whatever authority it was I needed to sign up to. I can't remember what it's called now. Got my license, and I joined a couple of Isle of Wight trials clubs with Dave, and Dave and I rode trials together for a while. I had fun with it for a short time, but it didn't last. I don't really know why. It just wasn't really for me. It just didn't quite feel the same. I still knew that I wanted to ride motorcycles, and I just hadn't quite found the way to do it. At this point now, I'm 25, I guess. I'm browsing the internet one day at home with my ex, and up pops a video by a guy called The Midnight Shot. He was a moto vlogger, and it inspired me. I was like, you know what, okay, awesome, I'm gonna give it a go, fuck it. So I decided that then and there that I was gonna learn how to ride a motorcycle on the road, because at this point all I'd done is passenger stuff on road, and then I'd done some off-road racing, and then I did some off-road trials. I was like, you know what, it's time to hit the streets. I book in my direct access, a 2-week intensive course, and one of the instructors when I started had this absolutely beautiful blue 2005 CBR 600 RR, and there I was riding this YBR 125 or whatever the Christ it is. We got back from our little session out on the road, and I started asking him about it. So he told me a little bit about the bike. It was an island thing. It had done like 5,000 miles. He's looking to upgrade to a 1,000, and he just uses it to teach on at the moment, just to keep it running. And I was like, oh, one day, dude, one day. So I carry on with my direct access, finish it off. Maybe 5 or 6 days have gone by since I've passed my direct access, when I head to my local dealership. And what do I see on the forecourt as a newly part exchange bike just sat there? They've cleaned it, but they haven't even put a price on it yet. That's how fresh it is in there. It's literally been there like a day. I went up there with my parents, right? And I was like, oh guys, look, there's that bike I was telling you about. It's that exact one. It's right there. So I went straight inside, found the owner, and I was like, how much is that bike? And she said, 4,200. I was like, I need that. I have to have it. Will you take $4,000? She said, yeah, sure, whatever, no worries. Bought the bike, took it home, and just enjoyed the crap out of it. I put about 7,000 miles on that bike, sold it with 12,500. That's the bike that I took to France with my buddy Nick, and what an experience that was. It was amazing. I've been riding around the streets for a year on my CBR 600 RR. When I took it into Dave Dest for a big service, they gave me a grey Street Triple R 2013 as a courtesy bike, and I completely and utterly fell in love with it. And I was like, wow, dude, I just had a revelation. I can be more comfortable and have what feels like considerably more power, even though it wasn't. I think the CBR 600 was 116 horsepower or something like that, and this is 105 standard, so it was basically the same. This has got so much more lower down grunt. It's honestly, it's more pleasurable to ride unless you're hooning it around the track. It's night and day. So I could be more comfortable and have more usable power. What the fuck have I been doing? Why have I been dicking around with a sport bike when I could have been doing this the whole time? And I was just sold. I completely fell in love with the Street Triple. Even though I think it's a little bit ugly at the front, I still do. I can't get over it. The front end of these things is weird. Some people love it. I'm not a fan, honestly. But this bike has so much refinement, so much class, and so much ability. It handles phenomenally. The power is incredible. I love it. I just love everything about this bike. I urge everyone to test ride one if you haven't before. And 3.5, nearly 4 years later, I'm still rocking around on my Street Triple. And now, a lot of you have been asking me, is there going to be a new bike for Smo? And the answer is yes. I've always had itchy feet. If you guys have seen my car history video, then you'll be aware that I've had a lot of cars in a short period of time. I normally swap my vehicles around every 12 months or so because I get bored of them. And that's not a reflection on how good or how bad the vehicle is. I just like change. There's no way of knowing what your favorite type of vehicle is unless you try them all, right? Got to try a two-seater sports car, a four-door saloon, Japanese, German, whatever. And so that's kind of how I feel now. I want to try some other stuff. There are plenty of bikes on my list. My problem is at the moment I'm not in a financial situation where I can afford to buy another motorcycle. So I'll be sticking with this for the foreseeable future, but I do have plans to change at some point, yes. So there you have it. That's where we're at right now. We started with the Yamaha Shadow as a pillion. We moved on to the CR80. Oh, actually, no, I completely forgot a story. I used to ride on my buddy's Pee-wee 50. Forgot about the little blue Pee-wee 50. And now we find ourselves here, 29 years of age, on a 2013 Street Triple R, and I adore this thing. In the meantime, unless anything more interesting happens between now and where I'm going, I've been Smo. You guys have been awesome. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.